Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm still back at home, shitty lighting. It is what it is. This video, I am going to talk about my red phase experience, Charlie 334 at Fort Jackson. I do want to make a disclaimer. This is my experience, my basic training cycle, so not everyone's going to have the same experiences that I had. Also, the Army has changed in the last 40 years. The Army has changed in the last 10 years. I know, I get it. You don't have to leave me a shitty comment telling me that the new Army's a bunch of wieners, okay? Like, I get it. I've gotten enough of those comments. I don't care. I'm just trying to help out new people going into the Army. So, I hope you find this video helpful. Enjoy. Okay, y'all, bear with me. I have a lot of information that I want to hit, so I'm probably going to be looking down at my notes. I do want to talk about take a notebook. I know I mentioned take letters and envelopes and stuff, but take a notebook. I wrote down all my addresses of people that I wanted to write to get them my address, and also just mail is like a major thing when you're in basic. It helps kind of make you a human again. So I had addresses in it. I wrote down like my shopping list of stuff that I needed. I also like made a calendar that's I guess you could consider it a diary. I use it as like a journal, and but I also had intentions of making this video, so I wanted to remember everything that we did, and that way I wouldn't have to try to just do it off the top of my head. So I wrote every day, like, what we did, and it wasn't, like, to trash talk any of my drill sergeants if they were, like, mean to me. Like, it was never a personal thing, except when I was like, I can't do this, I want to go home. It literally was like, today we ate this, today we did this, I had spaghetti for breakfast in my MRE. Like, it was shit like that. Like, I wrote down every single day what we did. Don't let your drill sergeant see you do it, like, don't let them find your journal. But it's actually a pretty neat idea. Like, looking back now, I can like remember everything that I did, and then like some of those emotions. It's really funny to go back and see. So keep a journal, write down some of the cool shit that you do, because you're doing that, and like none of your friends outside the military, I mean, some of them probably do, but most of like your civilian friends, like, they're never gonna do this shit. And so keep these memories like active or available for you. So that's that. I'll go into when I started. I started my red phase, or my day 0 was like January 22nd, I think. And you go into your 72 hours, your first 72 hours, and those are like, what I've heard were like the hardest first 3 days. Sorry, my dog's crying. But my first 3 days, you're getting yelled at a lot, like literally for everything. Like, you're standing wrong, yelled at, getting dropped. Like, everything that you do is ridiculous. You get woken up by air horns, or we did, 4:30, I'd say. They woke us up with air horns, and I didn't sleep very well the first, like, honestly, like 2 weeks. Like, I was terrified. Like, I woke up like every like hour, and you're exhausted, so it's not like I wasn't tired. Like, I was tired. I was just not sleeping through the night because I was afraid I wasn't gonna wake up on time. I was gonna miss something, and that's not gonna be the case. So sleep okay. You have a fire guard, and there's someone on shift every hour of the night. So what we did was, on a piece of paper at the fire guard desk, we wrote down what time we wanted to be woken up in the morning. After the first 72 hours, like I said, we were woken up with air horns. But after the first 72 hours, you wake up on your own. They will typically call an announcement sometime in the morning and like tell you to wake up. But I needed to wake up a few minutes earlier so I can go ahead and do my bun for the day. You make your bed. Make sure that you are ready for the day before that first formation at like 5 o'clock in the morning. So guys, be shaven. Girls, have your hair in a bun. Beds made, like whatever, before that first formation, because if not, while you're doing PT, they're gonna go through the bays and they're gonna ransack anyone who doesn't have their locker locked, bed made, all of that shit. Like, everything has to be done beforehand, like before that first formation. you'll have a bay leader. So it's like someone who is designated to put people where they need to be when they need to be there. So they write up the fire guard roster. And if there's ever any bay drama, like they're the ones who have to talk to the drill sergeants about handling it. So that's like one of the main bay things. You have someone designating all of that. So I repeated myself a lot there, and that sounded really bad, but I kind of lost my train of thought. Like I said, bear with me. I've got a lot going on. Back to the first 72 hours. I didn't get to shower. First 48 hours. We got like a 4-minute shower like on day 2 or 3. So you're taking a lot of whore baths in there. They didn't tell us when we could start doing laundry for like a week. And how we had to do laundry, and I can make shorter videos of other like specific things. But how we did laundry was we had to do it in our personal time. And you don't get personal time except on Sundays. So I would always throw a load of laundry in on like Tuesday or Wednesday right before I went to bed. In that like 30 minutes that you do get to start taking showers, I would throw my laundry in, and then on my fire guard shift, I would swap it out. In my female bay, there were only like 25 of us, and so we had fire guard almost every night. Now the guys who had like 60 plus in their bays, they would have fire guard like maybe once a week. Like, girls got totally screwed over. But I did laundry at night on my fire guard shift. Also, you take your first PT test in the first 72 hours, and it's really just kind of to see where you are in regards to everyone else when you're taking your PT test, how much faster you need to run, if you need to work on push-ups, sit-ups. They're also, well, what they did to us, the people who failed their first PT test had to start working out twice a day to get those scores up. So that's like the first 72 hours, and I don't remember a lot of it. It was a really stressful period, but like I said, maybe I said it, I don't remember. If you can make it through the first 72 hours, you should be able to make it through the rest of it. Like, it's just gonna go, depending on how you look at up or downhill. It'll get easier from those first 72 hours. The rest of red phase does suck. They're gonna be assholes to you. You're gonna get punished for everything. But you start kind of turning into a robot where you just go along with the flow and you start ignoring all of the yelling. So beat the first 72 hours and you'll be fine. The next thing that I'm going to talk about is the DFAC, or the dining facility. We like to abbreviate everything. So the dining facility, the DFAC, in basic, it's a pain in the ass, and you're going to hate it, and you're going to wish that you never had to eat in a building ever again, and it's only at basic. They're going to tell you that you have to do it in the real world, and you don't. Even at AIT, you shouldn't have to do this. At AIT, you're going to grab your food, and you're going to go sit down, and you're going to talk, and you're going to be with your friends, and it's going to be literally like you're eating at a cafeteria like in high school. Like, it's nothing. Basic training, whole different world, okay? I'm telling you this right now because you need to, like, if you get anything from this video, it is how to eat in the DFAC, okay? So when you walk in, when you line up outside the DFAC, you have 30 minutes for your entire company to get their food, sit down, eat, and get out. So you're literally like going in and relay. Like, by the time like you've sat down and started eating for 10 minutes, like you're fixing to have to get up because like your next people are coming in. Like, it is just a constant circle. So when you walk in, shut your mouth. Actually, basically, don't even talk while you're at basic. That's what it's going to boil down to. But so you walk in, you grab your tray, and you're walking like this. And when you get in line, you're literally standing shoulder to shoulder with the person next to you. And keep that in mind. Like, don't ever not be touching the person next to you. And you're going to sideways step like a penguin. And you're not going to talk, and you're not going to look around, and you're going to keep your face forward, and you're going to hold your tray. And when you finally get your tray, you're going to still continue to sideways step, and you're going to have your feet together. So like you're stepping, step, 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 step. Keep your feet together. Like, I'm not kidding with you right now. You think this is retarded. I'm telling you, keep your feet together. Because if you don't, your drill sergeant is going to yell at you, and he's going to embarrass you, and he's going to make you stand in the middle of the DFAC saying a stupid saying along the lines of, "Heels together, make my food taste better." And I'm not even kidding you. And you're going to have to yell that over and over and over again until that drill sergeant is tired of hearing your voice, okay? And he's not going to get tired of hearing your voice. And it's going to be the dumbest thing that you've ever done, but you have to do it. So keep your fucking feet together. Like, that's all, like, that's it. So, the food's not bad. It's okay. It's like mediocre high school food, like when you're in the cafeteria. You can pick what you want. Like, it's not this nasty slop. Like, the stir fry was really, really good. They've got, like, baked fish. They've got spaghetti. Like, they have all kinds of stuff, and it's all different, like, throughout the week. You get to pick what you want. Do not, like, don't point at it. Do not point at it. Hold on to your tray. Be fast about it. So if you don't know what you want, like, just say something and move on, because drill sergeant's gonna be yelling at you. I remember when I was there, if you were taking way too long, like, I was gonna yell at you. Like, for the first, like, couple times that you go in there, DFAC's the worst place on earth. Once you get it figured out to shut your mouth and keep your feet together, it's not that bad. I learned, I ate like a cow. I was hungry all of red phase. I ate like a grown man, but I got like a really flat stomach, because in all of this, you are getting punished for everything. And by punishment, you are running laps, you're doing push-ups, you're doing sit-ups, like whatever they can to make you do physical work, they're doing it. So I was eating like a grown man, like an entire tray covered with food. I had that down in like 8 minutes. And like, I'm pretty proud of that, because that is fast and that is a lot. That's really it. After we got through eating, we'd have to go outside. Oh, like, so also I forgot. So when you go into the DFAC and you're standing at your table, you line up, like, the person who's standing next to you, that's who you end up next to at the table. And you stand there, and I don't remember exactly what you say, but you have to say something. And then the drill sergeants tell you when you can sit down. So the whole table sits down at once, and you start scarfing your food down. And then the drill sergeant will come back around and tell you when it's time to get up. So, like, you all have to stand up at the same time, and then you'll turn. They call it center face. So whichever direction, and then you're all facing the same direction. And then you will walk out at the same time. And you'll put your tray away. So everyone's kind of like going outside at the same time. We had to do push-ups and sit-up drills. Like, we had to do like 25 or 30 push-ups and sit-up drills every single time we left the DFAC. If you puked, you puked. Really, you think you're gonna puke, but you're really not gonna puke. Just do the push-ups and sit-ups. So that's like my DFAC experience. I remember it was awful. Once we got figured out, it was fine, but at first it was awful. Another thing in red phase that you start doing, you start learning how to march. So at first they've got you like in platoon with like the 4 squads, and like you're walking and they're kind of like hinting at it, but they really start telling you like how to march. And so part of like your training during the day, like you'll just go out in a field and like you'll start learning how to march and how to stay in step with the person next to you. And I can't remember a lot of these terms. Keep it right. That's not the actual term, but it, like, instead of, like, you don't look to your right, you look forward, but you use your peripherals, and, like, you make sure that you're in line with the person who is to the right of you. And, like, you stay in step, left, right, left, right. When we were marching, our drill sergeants would just say left, right with us for like the longest time, just so we could stay in step with them, because your drill sergeant's never out of step. So when your drill sergeant gets out of step, that means that you have to get in step with your drill sergeant. I hate to break it to you, but you stay with your drill sergeant. And so if you can see the drill sergeant in the corner of your eye, like, stay with them, and then everyone catches on with each other. For whatever reason, I had a hard time with marching for like the first like week or so, but after that, like, marching's like cake now. It's like no big deal. We didn't get to learn cadences, honestly, I want to say, to like white phase. Like, our drill sergeants wanted us to look good and be good at marching before we started confusing ourselves with yelling. So that kind of sucked, because like obviously you want to learn cadences while you're at basic, but we had to perfect our march before we could start our cadences. And I love cadences. I was one of like the loudest ones. Like, I was hella loud. It used to pump me up, it pumped everyone else up. Like, cadences are what pump you up during the day. Like, when you're marching, just belt that shit out. Like, even if it makes you look retarded, like, it doesn't. Like, just be loud. Get everyone in your platoon pumped up. We did combatives in red phase, and I hate them. I hated them. I still hate them. You're in your OCP uniform in tennis shoes. And you get out. We had the field, or not the field, we had the pit, the tire pit. And like we got with our same-sex battle buddy. And they're just annoying. I really hated combatives. I don't even want to talk about it. You shouldn't hurt yourself. Like, you shouldn't hurt yourself. You shouldn't hurt the person in front of you. You're kind of like mimicking like fighting and how you're gonna. I couldn't really take it seriously because I wasn't actually in a situation. Like, if you can actually punch me and I can actually punch you, like, I can like, oh yeah, but like, I couldn't ever get into it. I didn't like it. I probably should have taken it a little bit more seriously. I hated it. I hated it so much. We did go to CIF about a week and a half in. CIF, I don't remember what it stands for. Sorry. But it is where you go and you get all your actual gear. So when you were at reception, you got your uniforms and your duffel bag. CIF, you're actually going to get your ACH helmet and another duffel bag, your assault pack, your rucksack, your flick, your Kevlar vest. We got our gas mask separately. That was not issued at CIF. And I mean, you just get like a bunch of other stuff like your canteen and some of the smaller things that you need. You got your sleeping bag. We did get issued our sleeping bags. You get a bivy cover, which is basically a waterproof sleeping bag. It has like no like warmth or cushion to it. It's literally just a waterproof bag that you will put your sleeping bag in. You get a summer bag and you get, I guess, like a winter bag. Summer bags, whatever. The winter bag is hella warm. That was a long day. Make sure when you get issued your stuff, you're gonna have to do a layout with a drill sergeant, and they're gonna yell at you, and you're not gonna have a clue what this shit is. But just pay attention to it. Like, if something is broken, like, you just be confident and you tell that drill sergeant, hey, my e-tool, your shovel, is broken, or this zipper is busted. Because one, you need that shit to work like through the rest of your cycle, and two, when you turn that in, if it's broken when you turn it in, like, you're gonna have to pay for that. Like, if they notice that that's broken, they're not gonna be like you can't be like, it was broken when I got it. Like, they don't give a shit. You're now gonna have to pay for it, and let me tell you, that stuff is expensive. So, like, when you're doing your layout, like, actually make sure that your gear is like in okay condition. We also did Victory Tower in Red Phase, and Victory Tower is so much fun. Oh, I loved it. If you don't like heights, it's gonna be harder for you. I'm putting that out there right now. Victory Tower is where you do the rappel down a 40-foot wall. You're in a harness. You're not gonna fall. You have someone like attached to you, and then you have someone below you. You will not fall. It's one of those, like, you just have to trust your gear things. You also have to climb. Like, you'll like walk sideways up a rope, and this is the one like where you always see the pictures where like someone's like hanging with like their feet behind them and they're like crawling down the rope. So there's 3 of those that you have to do. So much fun. Oh my god, I loved it. And then you just like climb down a rope ladder. It's still just, I don't think it's quite as tall as the 40-foot, but it's pretty tall. I loved it. A lot of other people enjoyed it. And then we had the people who completely had meltdowns because they're afraid of heights. So if you don't like heights, I really hate to break it to you, but you're going to have to deal with Victory Tower. If you go to Fort Jackson, I don't know if there's a Victory Tower anywhere else, but Fort Jackson has a Victory Tower. Love it. Like, enjoy your time. Like, you're doing all this cool shit that, like, you're never going to do anywhere else. Enjoy it. Like, I can't even emphasize that enough. So that's my Victory Tower. I remember, so we had our first ruck. This was like a 40-minute ruck, and I think we had like our assault pack with us. Maybe. I don't even know. And you have your camelback on you at all times. When you get in the real army, you don't have to do that. But while you're in training, like, you have to have your camelback on you at all time, and that is your water source. So clean that thing out like every day. Like, dump all that old water out, put new water out in it. Put new water out. Put new water in your camelback like every day. So we went to Victory Tower. I don't remember if we had an assault pack with us. That was like a 40-minute like march. It wasn't bad. But when we did like our actual, like our first march, it was like 2 miles. And I know that doesn't seem like a lot, but if you've never like ruck marched before. Like, it's pretty strenuous. Like, I can walk for miles, y'all. But when you're in boots that you can't wear, like me, like, I literally had blisters my entire cycle. Worst pain. Like, I had the worst feet, I think. Because I talked, like, everyone in my company, like, knew I had bum-ass feet, like, this entire time. So 2 miles on little baby sensitive feet is awful. But the ruck, it was like 2 miles. It wasn't bad. They were just, like, we steadily, like, the first one was 2 miles, and then we bump up to 5, and then 7, and, anyway, so this first ruck was 2 miles. When we get back to the company, and this was the worst day. This was the worst day of our life, and you can ask anyone in my company, what was the worst day that you had, other than, like, a personal day? Like, this was the worst day as a company we had. So we got back from rucking, and they're like, screw you guys, your bays are disgusting, and get out. They gave us like 15 minutes. They evicted us from our barracks. Like, evicted us from our barracks. They gave us 15 minutes. We had to get all of our shit out. We just got back from CIF. So we just got the helmet, all of these bags, all of this gear. We had to put all of that in the bags that we got, and our regular duffel bags and our uniforms. We had to take the sheets and blankets off of our bunks, like everything that we had, bag it up in one trip and take it outside and like put it in the breezeways. And while we were like, I couldn't do that. I could not physically carry all of those bags. Like, I tried every part of me tried to do this, and I could not. And so, like, I was like freaking out, but I kept my composure, and I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna come back and get this other shit, because don't drag your duffel bags. Dragging your green duffel bags on concrete will cause them to rip. So I'm telling you that for, like, on your first day, like day 0, when everything's everywhere, don't drag your bag. So anyway, back to what I was talking about. There were a couple other people who couldn't carry all of their stuff down at one time, so while we were upstairs grabbing our second round of stuff, everyone else kept putting the front leaning rest position until we came back down. So once everyone had their stuff down and we were doing push-ups and all this other stuff, we got complete, like, just full, whole ass smoked because the bays were disgusting. And then they had us go up and they would have us clean, like, a specific spot, like spot clean, like spit clean, spot clean, a specific, like, showers. And then we'd come back downstairs when we get smoked, and they would go up and they'd check, and they're like, not good enough. And so then we'd have to clean like that plus another section. And this lasted all day. And we were just constantly cleaning, getting smoked, cleaning, getting smoked, cleaning, getting smoked, cleaning, it was just awful. Like, it was just, I can't tell you how awful it was, but I can tell you, and I will never forget this day. It was January 31st, 2018, and, like, that is burned into my brain, and I am telling you, anyone I went to basic with can tell you that same exact day was their worst day. Like, I don't know, it was awful. So, I don't know, prepare yourself for it. I don't even know. I've talked to other cycles, and they didn't have to do anything like that, so good luck if you do. It was a brutal day. So Sundays are, like, the best day of the week, and how I made it through basic, you literally, like, you have to have smaller goals. So don't say, okay, 70 days I get to see my mom. 70 days I get to see my mom. 50 days I get to see my mom. No. Go Sunday to Sunday. Like, okay, I have 4 more days, and I'll get my break. Because Sundays, you can go to church. You get to be a human again. I loved going to church. It made me feel good. Like, everyone always had, like, emotional, like, breakdowns at church. And it's not because you were, like, a wiener or, like, a titty baby. It was just Sundays, you got to be human. You got to have human feelings again. Best part, there's no drill sergeants at church. Like, if you go to church, you're not going to deal with drill sergeants. No one's going to yell at you. Like, you're going to go to church, get your Jesus on, or whatever religion. Because you can go to just about any religion. They have Jewish services. They have all kinds of services. I'm not going to even try to, like, list them off. But I do know, like, whatever religion you are, like, they have a pagan service. So, like, pick your church, go to it. Also, until, like, 1 o'clock, 1300, you have, like, a full-blown personal time. So you get to organize your locker, you get to clean, you get to do laundry, you get to write mom and dad. Like, Sundays are the best days. So when it's Tuesday, look forward to the next Sunday, and it'll get there. Also, think of like chow to chow. Like, all right, we got a couple more hours, we get to eat. You eat 3 times a day. That third time's eating, bedtime. Like, have small goals to get you through the day, get you through the week, because I'm telling you, you're going to blink, and next thing you know, it's going to be week 8. And you're finishing the Forge if you're at Fort Jackson. And 2 more weeks, not even 2 weeks, you get to see mom and dad at like family day. So have small goals to get you there. We did the gas chamber, which I honestly thought was gonna be the worst day of my life. I have a really hard time when things cover my face and they can kind of control my breathing. I can't handle that very well. But the gas chamber really wasn't that bad. Beforehand, like a couple days before, we had a CS class where we had a drill sergeant who, her actual MOS is CBRN, which is the gas. So she taught us how to put your mask on if you're blind. Your issued glasses also come with inserts. Okay, so you are going to be issued goggles. Like, no matter what, you're issued goggles. If you're blind, you get to wear these bad boys, these little plastic inserts. They pop in and out. So yeah, this is what I looked like while I was at basic. And so that's what you wear 24/7. But for your gas mask, you get these bad boys that pop in them, so that way you can see where you're going when you got gas. So you get taught how to put the mask on beforehand. So when you walk up to CBRN, when you walk up to the building, you put your gas mask on and you breathe because you're trying to get your life together. Like, was it worth the contract? Was it worth serving your country? All those thoughts are going through your head. So you enter this decrepit little building, and your drill sergeant's in there acting like ain't no thing. Meanwhile, you're like having a mini anxiety attack. They stand you up against the wall. They stood us up against the wall. We had to, like, we're shoulder to shoulder. You're always shoulder to shoulder with people next to you. We had to, like, run in place. We had to do a couple things. The drill sergeant would come up to you, and you'd have to take your mask off, like, have your eyes closed, take our mask off, put it back on, and clear it. Like, he had to see you do that. And he, like, went all the way down us. We had to talk. We had to make sure they could hear us back and forth. Then when they moved us to the middle of the room and they were walking in between us, we had to take our mask off. So you're holding the person in front of you. You're holding like the little wings that are in your OCPs. You're holding the person in front of you. You take your mask off and you hold it above your head. And I don't think we had to say anything, but I know we had to breathe. We just had to take like 2 like deep breaths in. And that was kind of it. Like, you had to stand there for a couple seconds. Everyone like starts like choking, and then you walk out the door and you're holding on the person in front of you because your eyes are probably closed. It's excruciating. Like, it's awful. So once you get out, you have to like flap all the shit out of your OCPs, and like people are like snotting, slobbering. Like, it's pretty funny now because there's like Facebook pages where people post pictures. So they've got a couple like volunteers that take pictures throughout the cycle while you're doing these cool things. So you get to see like all your friends' pictures afterwards, like snot everywhere. It's disgusting. That was a gas chamber. It sucked. You also get issued your M4s in red phase. We got ours like a week before like white phase, and I think we're supposed to have them like almost 2 weeks at this point, and we just get them. Your M4 goes everywhere with you, and you don't think like everywhere, but like everywhere. Don't ever leave your weapon anywhere. Make sure that there are eyes on it at all times. You don't go into the bathroom with it. So and by bathroom, I mean latrine, and don't ever say the word bathroom ever. It is a latrine. And because drill sergeants will go full retard and be like, I don't even know what a bathroom is. Have you heard of a bathroom? And then they'll have a conversation about how stupid you are. So like, it's a latrine. So if you have to go to the latrine, your battle buddy will hold your weapon for you. And don't ever call it a gun either. It is a weapon at all times. Like the porta potty, you would go in and you would give your weapon to your battle buddy, and they would sit there like in a security position. You don't sleep with it in your bed. It hangs from your bunk. And while we were in our bay, we could hang him from our bunk, and it was fine because there was like enough of us in there, so like it didn't have to go in the shower area with you. That was how we were. Our drill sergeants decided that they could hang in like on the bunk while we were taking showers and stuff. They can't go to sick call, so if you have to go to sick call, like your battle buddy is now stuck with your weapon all day, and you can't ever sling your weapon. Like if you're just like standing there, like don't sling your weapon. Like you two-hand carry that rig at all times unless you do have your battle buddy, and then you can sling that one over your back. Make sure that the muzzle is pointed down at all times. They have this yellow thing, and I don't remember what it's called. Honestly, I don't really remember what it was called when I was in basic. But you have this yellow block on the end of your weapon, and that keeps you from being able to shoot anything through it. But you never have any ammo ever until you're at the range. So you don't have to worry about someone like shooting up the bay because they have no access to ammunition, no access to bullets. And that yellow thing has to be on there, and it's on there at all times unless you're at the range. Always have your weapon on safe. So except at the range, when you are literally about to pull that trigger, your weapon will be on semi. And make sure it doesn't flip all the way around to automatic because you'll never have it on automatic anyway. So semi at the range when you're about to fire. Other than that, it is on safety. Make sure your weapon is on safety at all times. I'm not kidding. Like your asses will get smoked if anyone's is caught not on safe. So check your battle buddies, check yours, because especially at night, when you're sleeping and the fire guard's on, you'll have captains and other drill sergeants come throughout the night to make sure, one, everyone's asleep, like doing what they're supposed to be doing, make sure there's 2 people on fire guard, and they will walk through and make sure people are in the correct uniform. They'll check weapons, make sure that they're not on, say, like semi or whatever. Because if something's wrong, like, they will wake that whole bay up and they will smoke everyone in there. Like, make sure that you're doing the right thing at the right time. Like, and this is a life lesson I'm telling you while you're at basic. Make sure you're doing the right thing at the right time because you will get screwed up over it. You do so much stuff during basic, but also during red phase. So this is going to be kind of a longer video, and I'm really sorry about it, but we do like a combat medic first aid class. It's real hands-on. You do one where you're in class and they like tell you all this stuff, but then like a couple days later you actually do it on your battle buddy. So you learn like the different carries, dragging techniques, how to put tourniquets on. They might do like some basic like chest compressions, but mostly it's tourniquets and stuff, because if you're ever in a combat zone, that's probably like hemorrhaging, bleeding is going to be one of the major causes of death. So we really focused on the tourniquets and stuff. You learn land nav. Land nav was fun. Land nav is like really interesting. I can't really explain that. Like you have to just pay attention in your land nav class because they'll teach you how to read maps and all kinds of stuff. I really enjoyed it. Like it was a lot of fun. You end up going on like a scavenger hunt like you have to find a point, and then that point will give you another point, but you have to figure out how to translate that and map it. So much fun, but you have to pay attention in class to actually learn how to do all that. I know I'm everywhere with this. I should have put this with this and this with this, but when you're cleaning your weapon, don't ever clean it in your bay. Only clean it in the breezeway. You will have like a circle and you have time to clean your weapon. You can buy a weapons cleaning kit at the PX while you go there, and I highly recommend it because if you don't buy it, like then you're gonna have to bum it off someone else. Like you have to clean your weapon, and the kit gives you exactly what you need to clean all that carbon dioxide or carbon monoxide, whichever, carbon something, off your weapon. You do need Q-tips, but honestly, I think if you just buy one of those big Q-tip boxes, I think I started running low but I don't think I ever needed the second box that I bought. So one should be fine. If you start getting low, just buy another box that last time that you go to the PX. You also do a Fit to Win, which is that obstacle course. That was so much fun. So in Fit to Win, they did like a platoon challenge where 10 people from each platoon, and because because we had females there, we had to have at least 3 females participate out of the 10. And so the first 10 do it while the rest of the platoons are basically just like hanging out the starting line, like cheering you on. I can't even remember like everything that we did, but you jump over things and you climb over things and you crawl over things and you do a rope ladder. Like we had so much fun doing that. Like this is the shit that like you see on the recruiting videos. It's like, join the army, you get to do this cool shit. That's the cool shit that we were doing. Like it was so much fun. The only problem, I ended up, of course, with blisters, but that was my own thing that I was dealing with. So Fit to Win, hella fun. We didn't do the actual confidence course, like the big stuff, until our forge, but I think we were actually supposed to do that like earlier in the cycle, and we didn't. Once we got through with Fit to Win, we ended up, we finished Fit to Win, and like that afternoon, I think, we had our flag ceremony, and we went into whiteface. So that was like super cool. You basically get rewarded for doing stuff. Like I know when we finished Victory Tower, they let us put our U.S. Army patch on our OCPs. Sorry, you like Velcro, and so you just. But so you have your name, and then you have U.S. Army, and then you have your American flag patch. But that was like, that's really it. You do all kinds of shit during red phase, and I'm really sorry this video is not very organized. I apologize, but I'm trying to get them out there too, so you know kind of what to look forward to when you're going to basic. That's really all I've got. At the end of this video, I'm gonna add some pictures that were taken while I was at basic, and that's it. I'm gonna do some smaller videos about like weird things like laundry and going to the restroom and periods and all that kind of cool stuff. I'm going to do a white phase video and a blue phase video, and if there's anything else that you want me to talk about, let me know. Like and subscribe at the bottom of my video, and I will see you all next time.